Are you concerned your property taxes are too high in the Kirby School District 140 community? Do you feel you're being forced to leave Tinley because of your taxes? Before jumping to conclusions, let's review some facts. Did you know that Kirby spends approximately $3,400 less per student than Orland 135 and Tinley 146, and yet still academically outperforms both districts? Or that Kirby's school tax rate is ranked the 8th lowest out of the 21 surrounding districts? Did you know that over the past 38 years, Illinois has decreased educational spending by 44%, making local taxpayers responsible for 68% of the school funding? Hi, I'm Janelle, and I've lived within the Kirby community for the past 10 years. I am very concerned that my property taxes are almost more than my monthly mortgage payment. I've heard rumors that Kirby 140 and school board members were responsible for our high property tax rates due to frequent tax levies. I have completed a lot of research and data that proves this is false. Kirby is not responsible for our high property taxes, and if you look at the research data, I am going to share with you the rationale why future Kirby district tax levies are warranted. I bought my forever home this past spring within the Millennium boundaries. My family picked our home because it met our search criteria of price, year built, and square footage. Not because we thought Millennium was better than the other schools in the district, it just met our growing family needs. When I saw my first property tax bill, I nearly cried. However, as I examined my tax bill, rather than the final amount due, I saw that Cook County had overassessed my home value by $80,000 more than the purchase price. $80,000 makes me pay roughly $3,000 to $4,000 more in property taxes than I should be paying. Prior to this new home purchase, I owned a townhouse in the Keller boundaries that was also overassessed by $20,000 from the purchase price. Obviously, I appealed both my property taxes at the Orland Township Assessor's Office. While there, I learned there is a 3-step process to determine property taxes. The final step involves local tax rates. Residents from different districts pay different tax percentages. The local tax rate includes the township, roads, school, and park districts, etc. The 2017 local tax rates for Orland Park and Orland Hill Township with District 135 is about 8%. The other Tinley with 146 is 9.75%. Our Tinley in Orland Hills with District 140 pays a little over 10%, a higher percentage. I asked the assessor why Kirby has a higher property tax rate than surrounding districts. She said there are different reasons, but the main reason is businesses. Businesses pay the most in taxes based on their revenues, which helps offset residential property taxes. Orland with 135 has the mall and all the surrounding businesses on LaGrange. Tinley with 146 has a slightly higher percentage than 135, but still has multiple businesses on parts of Oak Park Avenue in Harlem. Tinley with 140 has even less businesses and therefore a higher overall tax percentage to residents. But similar to you, I chose to live in this district. I didn't want to have the mall and all that traffic chaos close to my home. I bought my home in a residential area where my children can run around outside safely with other neighborhood children, riding their bikes up and down the sidewalks without the constant fear of busy roads. On the Cook County Clerk's Office website, you can look up any town and see the breakdown of how the local tax rates are computed. Looking just at the elementary school districts, the 2017 school tax rate for 140 is 4.488%. Rounding the percentages, District 146 is 5.4%, which is higher than us. District 135 is 3%, which is much lower than us due to the revenue obtained from the mall. Looking at surrounding elementary districts within 30 minutes, I found that Tinley Park, Frankfort, and Madison School District 159, right on the other side of I-80, has a school tax rate of 7.3%, which is much higher than Kirby. Burbank School District 111 is 4.5%, and Oak Lawn School District 123 is 5.2%, which are both higher than the Kirby. Out of the 21 elementary districts I examined, Kirby ranked 8th. Only 7 other elementary districts had a lower school tax rate. This shows that although Tinley may have an overall higher local tax rate, The Kirby district tax percentage is still less than many others and therefore not the primary cause for our high property tax rates. Still not convinced Kirby wasn't responsible, I dug a little deeper. I examined the 2018 Illinois State Report Card's operational spending per pupil, which includes instructional spending and building renovations. Any and all building renovations are factored into the operational spending. Building renovations are preventative maintenance, which in the long run decreases costs by keeping our schools clean, safe, and up to code. I compared the operating expenses per student for Orland 135, Tinley 146, and the overall Illinois state average to Kirby 140. Kirby spends $3,544 less than 135, $3,254 less than 146, and $1,243 less than the state average per student. Let's examine the data a little closer. Averaging out the operational expenses, District 135 and 146 spends approximately $3,400 more than Kirby per student. Multiply that by Kirby's approximate student population of 3,600 students, and the total comes to just under $12.5 million. In other words, our school board and finance department saves our taxpayers roughly $12.5 million annually because of their outstanding budgeting. Looking at the state average of spending $1,243 more per student, multiply that by Kirby's approximate student population, the total is approximately $4.5 million. Across the entire Illinois state and other districts, Kirby 140 is spending less than $4.5 million for all operating expenses. Our school board seeking a potential tax levy makes sense if you look at the data. Our school tax rate and our overall operating expenses is far less than surrounding districts. Still examining the Illinois State Report Card, Kirby's average teacher salary is approximately $10,000 less than Orland. Kirby's average teacher salary was roughly $1,000 more than 146 and the overall state average. However, Kirby has a higher percentage of highly educated teachers with at least a master's degree. Out of the 7 schools within Kirby, one school, Grissom, is unfortunately considered underperforming. However, District 135, Orland Junior High, is also considered underperforming. The state has 766 underperforming and the lowest performing schools combined. Within the Illinois State Report Card again, despite District 135 and 146 spending approximately $3,400 more per student, Kirby still academically outperforms both districts, which includes Grissom's underperformance based on PARCC testing by 4%, and Kirby outperformed the state average by 12%. For the past 13 years, Kirby has won a Merit Budget Award. I looked up the Association of School Business Officials International MBA Criteria Checklist to determine what is expected to win this award. On page 7 of the 11-page document, one of the requirements states the budget document must include 8 years of data, 3 prior years of actual comparative, the current year budget, proposed budget year, and 3 years of forecasted data. Other requirements range from expenditures, revenues, fund balances, checks and balances, etc. How can a district win the same award 13 years in a row if they are sneakily only winning by increasing property taxes each year and without financial health? This award isn't easy to win. Less than 1% of schools within the U.S. and Canada received this honor last year alone. Less than 1%, and Kirby has won it the past 13 years. The facts just don't align that Kirby is the sole responsibility for our high property taxes. Our property taxes are high. There is no denying this fact. As I stated earlier, my monthly property taxes are almost the same cost as my mortgage payment. However, all of Illinois State has high property taxes. In March 2018, there was a New York Times article, states with the highest and lowest property taxes. Illinois was ranked as one of the highest in the country. There are numerous other credible articles that also verify Illinois is one of the highest property tax states in the country. In 1979, the state funded 43% of school expenses, and the local was responsible for 47%. In 2017, the state provided 24% of the funding and the local was responsible for 68%. In the past 38 years, the state has dropped their funding by 44%. 44%, that's massive. As the state provides less funding for education, the money needs to come from local revenues. The problem is not Kirby and the school board overtaxing residents with high property taxes, it's the whole state. Tinley property taxes aren't forcing residents to move. It's the Illinois state property tax system. Based on my research, I've learned some of the reasons why property taxes are high in the Kirby community. 1, Cook County is overassessing home values. 2, there is a lack of businesses. And 3, the state is providing less funding. I've also learned that Kirby has one of the lowest school tax rates when compared to surrounding districts. The Kirby students academically outperform nearby districts and the state while spending millions of dollars less. Our school board is doing an excellent job. The data proves it. When our school board asks for a tax levy, whether it's this month, next year, or in 10 years, I will always say yes. As a concerned taxpayer, I understand and trust Kirby's current school board and finance department. Rationale is based on my research. Of course, my property taxes will go up slightly, but some of the most important things in my life are my family, my children's education, and my family's financial future, which includes the value of my home. If our district declines in educational performance due to the lack of funding, this will impact our children's education. Poor performing schools will discourage new potential residents from moving into the district, which will make our home values decline. Our high property taxes are not caused by our school district. Let's not fault them and take away from our children's educational future. Throughout this video, I have shared all of my credible research with you. I encourage you to look it over in depth, or do your own if you don't trust mine. Then please share your factual data that proves me wrong. Show me the research that I've overlooked that determines that Kirby is responsible for our high property tax rates. I want to see it, because as I dug deeper into my investigation as a concerned taxpayer, I've only gained more appreciation and knowledge that District 140 is the perfect district to raise my growing family. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Kirby 140 School Board, administrators, teachers, paraeducators, secretaries, custodians, special services, the business, finance, personnel, transportation, and maintenance departments, in addition to all the other hardworking staff members in the district. Thank you for creating and maintaining an excellent school budget and educational standards for our students and my growing family. I also want to thank you for watching. I hope this video gave you some insight as to why Kirby is not responsible for our high property taxes. Please share this video with others so we can educate our community together. Thank you for your time.